we've already looked at how cloud-based platforms can really drive you forward in the product design and manufacturing workflow. But this one, for me, is one of the most powerful because it's linking, giving us an idea about the kind of shape that we can manufacture based on the machines or the processes that we've got on the shop floor, alongside simulation results, so taking into account a load, for example. This is generative design, and this is something that Fusion 360 is absolutely fantastic at. What it will do is it allow you to take shape and look at, okay, what existing geometry do I have that I need to keep? And what areas of avoidance do I have in the model? Again, in this example, like we looked at in one of the previous videos, you can see that we've got some primitive shapes to control that in this particular case. We can then define that we want to have loads. In this case, we've got a 50 kilogram remote load on this to show that we've got some weight on this particular model. Fusion 360 will then go away and say, okay, well, what can you manufacture? What materials do you want to use? And what safety factors and things like that do you want to aim for? And it will go away and it will process in the background using the cloud and give you a load of results. In this case, you can see here that we've got 6 results from this particular study. And I can filter those results based on any given material. I can also filter them based on, I can only do 3-axis milling, or I can print additive, or I've got unrestricted methods. And you can see that different ones are giving you different results based on what you're telling the system you can or can't do. At any point in time, we can go and look at those studies. So let's go and have a look at study 1. And what you can see here is we get a 3D study that's very much a fluid and natural shape. Looks like bones. So what this is doing is it's looking at using the least material to give you the strongest result, hence why it looks like a hip bone or a joint. What we can then do with this is we can start displaying some more information. So I can look at the stresses that this had and the reference based on that from the scenarios that it's gone through in the background. I can also compare these different results. So I can say, I want to take that study and I want to compare it to this one. And it will show me those side by side and allow me to look at them at the same time. And as you can see, we get some drastically different results dependent on the materials it's using, the manufacturing methods that it's using to produce those outputs. Again, we can look at the different display methods to look at the results specific to that individual component. Should I want to take one of these and push it into my design, I can do that. I can say that I want to create a design from the outcome, which will go ahead and give me an editable 3D model that I can place into my assembly as a component inside of Fusion 360. I can also go ahead and make a mesh design from there as well, which will give me a mesh using that outcome. Again, which one you choose will depend on what you want to do with it as an output. But we can choose what we want to use, and we can choose to create from that output. You might have several inputs here, so we can export those out to a CSV file should we want to. Once we've explored that and we've chosen to generate or produce one of those particular components, it will basically sit in the background and run that job. Once the job is completed, your model will be placed into the environment here, and we can see that as if it was any other model inside of the system. Generative design inside of Fusion 360 gives you the ability to work with natural shapes that would be nigh impossible to design using your mouse and your keyboard, but it gives you access to those. It generates them, and then it gives you the ability to modify those even further should you need to once they're inside of Fusion 360 as a standard model. Generative design is the future. It enables you to create that next level of part inside of your easily to access, cheap, and modern Fusion 360 design tool.